Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first. I have an S, which is good. I can't see a 7-letter bingo. There may be an 8-letter bingo. I'll have to see what floaters are available. I ought to be able to resolve this rack fairly easily. A play of hut would leave salt, which is pretty good. Right, so do I have anything through the W? No. What about the A? Can't see anything through that. And finally the B. No, I can't see a bingo, and I also can't play hut. So how am I going to resolve this rack? I certainly need to play off one of the T's and the U. And the U's the problem because it doesn't go parallel to any of the existing letters. Latu is good. That's not going to score very much. Now, can I play vertically through the W or the B for a better score than playing Latu? No. What I can do though, which is going to score a bit more, is play Halt. Let's see how this looks. Halt and Luath is the anagram. 19 points. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I certainly do not have a bingo here. I've got the J for score, but I've only got one vowel, so it's going to be difficult to score well and leave a decent rack leave. Through an E, I would have Javel. Okay, I'm not sure about this. It's fine. I think I often confuse Ristia with Risting. I think it's Risting, which isn't good. Now, my opponent has opened up a triple word square lane in row O, but I've only got one vowel, so I'm going to struggle to utilise it. So it may be worth me leaving that open. Now, my opponent has provided an E for Javel. Let's see what that scores. Now that's 23 points. In terms of scoring more than that, I think it's going to be a struggle on this board, and the V is a bonus inhibitor, so I am keen to play that off along with the J. I think this is probably the only spot I can do that. Great. I have the blank, and I'm sure I have plenty of bingos. I have Agistors in row K as a double-double through the S of Ristia. Do I have anything through the L of Halt? And I'm looking for another double-double. Looks like there should be. Okay, well I don't need to look for that. Agistors is available. And that's 82 points. That's a good score. And that's pretty good. I may have a 7-letter bingo. And I may have an 8 through the T of Holt. Certainly looks promising. I'm pretty sure there is one there. The T remains available. I have the semi-prefix. I'm thinking about misolite or simolite, but I'm pretty sure neither of those is good. Gosh, is there one through the T? There's also the L of Holt. Can't see anything through that. It duplicates a tile on my rack. And there's the R of Ristia. This is going to be really irksome if I've missed, or if I miss a bingo. I've got 15 minutes left, so I'm not in any time trouble. Question is, how long do I spend looking for a bingo? I just can't see one. There may even be a 7. Okay, if I don't bingo, what have I got through the R of Ristia? Well, I could play Royal, leaving EIMS. Only 18 points, that's pretty poor. Gosh, this is going to be one of the hardest racks I've ever given up on. I'm just so convinced that there is something through the T, perhaps ending ITE. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there isn't something there. We'll find out later. Now, can I do better than Royal? Rymos is good, but I'm reluctant to burn my S. But it's 33 points. Okay, I am still looking for a bingo, but I need to accept defeat on that front, I think. So, do I play Rymos, leaving IL? I am behind at the moment, and this is a pretty bingo-y rack. So 18 points for Royal. I think I prefer this to Rymos. Gosh, that was painful. I'm sure there is something there through the T. And this is a pretty good rack. I can't see a 7. Again, I'm looking at the L and the T, neither of which duplicates a tile on my rack, which improves the possibility of there being a bingo. Okay, I'm not seeing a bingo. I'm 5 points behind, but it's my opponent on turn. I've also got the Y of Yuga to consider, but that doesn't go very well with the letters on my rack. I've got the IC ending. I think I've just got too many vowels with this rack. So if I don't bingo, What am I going to do? I've got the C and the M for score. I'm looking around to see where I can play either. I can play mock at F6 across. But that leaves A, E, I, S, and I'd rather it was slightly more balanced. I can play coma at F5. I've got 13 minutes left. Now there is L1 across to L4. Be good to put my C at L1 and my M at L4, but I can't see a way of doing that. Comb isn't good. I could play coma in that spot. Only 24 points, but the rack leave of I, E, S is not bad. This is similar to the last rack in the sense that I feel I'm very close indeed to a bingo and may have one. Now my opponent has taken that spot I was looking at and he's provided the B. So I'm wondering if I can play down column 1 onto that B or through it. Can't see a way of doing that. Now, maybe I could play from H12 across. I could play Acme, leaving ISO. That's pretty good. That's 30 points, and it's important to keep the score rolling along to stay in touch with my opponent so that I don't depend on a bingo to win. The rack leave isn't great with this, and I am taking out 2 floaters, and I'm leaving myself with a vowel-heavy leave. Having said that, it is 30 points. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I have 4 vowels again. Now the only floater I have, well, the only real floater I have to consider is the M of Acme. Can't see anything through that. There is the B of Bath, but with the B towards the end of any potential bingo, it's unlikely. There's unlikely to be a bingo there. My opponent keeps scoring well, 26 points for him. He's now got a 33-point lead. Now through a T, I would have egotized. I haven't blocked that with Acme because the T was 1 spot too low. Now I don't have any scoring tiles, so I'm going to struggle to score with this rack. I'm looking at placing my G at F10. So I would have a word beginning GEI or GEE. Now G'd would score just over 20 points, which isn't very much. My opponent's play of Vor has really obstructed the top left of the board. HA did take an S in front of it, and that bingo lane in row F has now been taken out. And if I play G'd, I'm really restricting the board, and I'm doing so from a position of being behind, which isn't good. But what can I do about that? Not easy. Yeah, I'm looking around for alternatives to G's and I'm not seeing them. Well, there is an alternative, and this keeps the board wide open, and the rack leave is very good. Ogive provides 2 more floaters in the O and the G, and the rack leave of DES is good. What's bad about this is the score, but since I'm behind, an open board is important, and one is always looking at score plus rack leave in assessing a move, not just score. I have the X for score, so I could play XI, Ox and Gi at C7. It would be good to play off the F with the X, because the rest of the rack is really bingo-y. But I'm struggling to see how I can do that. I don't have a bingo. I'm looking at the M and the E and the of Acme and the O of Ogive. Dorsey Flex is good, not Dorsey Fex. XI isn't good in the sense that it really blocks the floaters in OG, but it does score well. I'm looking to see if there's anywhere I can play Fix. And I can't place my X at F10 and get it to play twice, because L doesn't take an I in front of it. Now, what I'm wondering about is this. Now, is this too reckless? It's 38 points. It does get rid of the F, which was a bad tile, in the sense that it's not bingo-y. And looking at the scores now, I'm 50 points behind. I want to get rid of all the non-bingo tiles, and the downside of Fix is that it's opening up a really high-scoring row in row A. But on the other hand, it's keeping the M and the E of Acme free for a bingo. And the E is particularly useful. Am I missing something better? I've only got 8 minutes, so I certainly can't dwell on this. Fixer and refix are both good. Nowhere great to play those. I'm going to go with this. And that's pretty good. Do I have a playable bingo? Demister and mistered, dimeters, demerits. Mistered is probably the best of those. It gets doubled. Ah, just my spot. But I have resifted. Excellent. And resifted takes a P in front. I wasn't expecting this to stay available. So my opponent got 76 for mannered. I'm going to get 89 for resifted, and I don't think there's going to be a higher scoring place on the board, so I don't need to look for a better bingo. Dupions and Unipods, do either of those play? It's a tight board now. I don't think either of those plays. That's a shame. There is a bingo lane in row B underneath the E and D of resifted. And there is the E of Acme. Is unpoised good? I think it might be. Unpoised. Well, that's a pretty agonizing word. I'm certainly not sure of it. going to have to postpone making a decision on whether I'm going to play that. Do I have anything coming down from the R or E of resifted? I'm currently 2 points ahead. Now, I don't have to risk unpoised. I could play pud at pud rather at C5 down. Over 30 points and a rack leave of INOS, which isn't too bad. There's the B and the A of Bath, but very few bingos end in a B. I can't see one ending in an A. I really ought to be sure of unpoised, which suggests to me that it's not good. So, do I try it? My opponent has opened up a bingo lane in row D, but only for a word with S in second or third position. And unipods and dupions do not fit the bill. Unpoised. Do I go for it? Well, I think I am going to have a shot. I'm sure I'm confusing it with a word that is good if this comes off. It seems plausible. Let's see what happens. The agony. If it stays on, I'm 36 points ahead. Great! Not challenged off. Now, I've got a 5-point lead. I've got 6.5 minutes on the clock. There are 6 tiles in the bag. The blank is unseen. I do not have a bingo, but I have a balanced rack and I have scoring tiles, and the C and the K have got synergy. I could play a rocked at A3 down. Let's see what that scores. 26 points. It'd be nice to score a bit more than that. But where are the options? Where are the openings on this board? I'm looking at C9 across. If I can get one of my big tiles on that double letter square and reach across to the double word square at C13, that might be good. Can't see a way of doing that. That's a shame. Well, I could just play Kef. 26 points at C9 down. Now, what about O12 across? I'm sure there are some pretty good plays available, and rocked doesn't seem like it is one. Although it would leave one in the bag, so it would maximise my chances of drawing the blank. I've got just under 5 minutes, but the time is manageable. And there's only the P left, so my opponent could play a P word at O12 across. I'm not sure I've got a word in that spot. I've got code, but then the rack leave's awful. It's 30 points. Rocked may not be too bad because it keeps the board wide open. I've got a 5-point lead, so my opponent's playing catch-up. And this provides plenty of openings, which is good in the sense that I ought to be able to keep scoring. I do have the F for score. And by playing off 5 tiles, not only am I maximising my chances of drawing a blank, I'm also maximising my chances of drawing a vowel, because I have no vowels if I play this. But it is only 26 points. I feel that there is a 35 to 40 point play out there. But I can't see it. Just looking at L15 down. Do I have a word beginning F-E something O? Which would be a 50 point play, and I do not have such a play. Well, I have defo. Let's get this back. Let's just see what this scores. This might be pretty good, actually. 51 points. That's got to be better than rocked. It takes out an opportunity for my opponent, and I've still got the CK synergy. I think that's going to be better than rocked. I don't draw the blank. There's 2 in the bag. Now my opponent has bingo lanes in columns 3 and 4, which rocked would have taken out. Am I going to regret playing defo? I'm currently 56 points ahead. If my opponent bingos, he could have a 20 point lead, and that may be enough for him to win. I've got just under 3 minutes left. I'm looking in column 13 to see if I can play parallel to Manad and defo. My K can make Kef and Ked. Okay. My opponent scored 15. I can see exactly what he's got. Does he have a bingo? He's got the P for pre-sifted. I'm going to assume that he does have a bingo, and I'm going to block. I'm not going to locate the bingo. I'm just going to assume he's got it and block it. Now, do I have a bingo? That would be the easiest way of ending this. No, not that I can see. I'm wondering what's going to be the most blocky play, and I think Ruck's pretty good. K doesn't take anything in front of it. Does take an A after it. C doesn't take anything after it apart from an H. And my opponent would have to begin with the H. So I think that looks pretty good. 20 points. Points don't really matter at this stage. I'm 40 points ahead. It's a case of, can my opponent bingo? And I think Ruck stops him from bingoing. Let's find out. Now, I've only got 1 minute 40, so I need to focus on maximising my score. I've got to assume my opponent isn't going out and see if I have an outplay. Okay, haven't seen one so far. I do have lit as a 3-letter word at L13 down, which is going to score. I've got elite at G2 across. That's good. Do I have another out? I have islet at J11 down. Great. So I am going out. There may well be better outs, but it's good to have an unblockable out available. My opponent's got 9.5 minutes left. He's perfectly at liberty to take as much time as he wants, looking for a winning outplay. Now he does have column 2 rather onto the A of Bath. He may have something there. Maybe I could have done more to block bingos. Maybe Ruckle would have been better. But it's going to be tough to find a bingo ending in an A. That would be a bingo with 2 A's and 2 E's. Paraniti fits the bill, but it doesn't end in an A. So So I can't see winning outplay for my opponent. So do I have a better outplay for myself? There's the TA in Holt and Acme to consider. Can't see anything through that. Now in terms of 4-letter words, I think I've got tile and teal and light. I don't have anything which goes after ZO. So the two possibilities I've considered, Elite scores 6 points and Islet scores 5, so Elite is just better. But maybe there's something a lot better. I'm looking in row L. Ah, teal at L9 across. Great. 15 points, that's a lot more respectable. Let's just see what that looks like on my rack. Just in case it's a phony. I don't think it is. But if I have any doubt at all, I will resort to the words that I'm sure of. My opponent's got 6.5 minutes left. Yeah, I'm sure teal is good. I don't know what it means, but I think it's good. I'm intrigued to know if unpoised is good. We'll find out soon. It may be a phony that just went unchallenged. My opponent really has got only 2 bingo lanes in columns 1 and 2 ending on a B or an A. Pretty sure there's nothing ending with a B. And I haven't seen anything ending with an A, but there may be. And apart from that, I just don't think there are any other lanes available. Well, there is an exotic one in row L running through the T of Ristia and ending ED for a 10-letter play. That would be quite spectacular. If my opponent doesn't bingo, he could play peak at D3 across. 26 points. It's going to get him over 400, but it's not going to be enough to catch me. I think I was quite fortunate in playing fix. That felt somewhat reckless, but it worked out very well with my opponent playing mannered because it left the F available for resifted. I'm looking around to see if there's anything better than teal. But I can't see anything. Fix takes a T after it, but I don't have a word with GT in it. Okay, under 4 minutes to go. Sometimes if you're in your, you put yourself in my opponent's shoes at this point, and the only way to win is with a bingo, you just run the clock right down, hoping that something may just pop into your head. There's just no reason to play quickly if you know that the move you're going to make is a losing move, while there is still the small possibility of a winning move being found. My opponent could play nap at c5 down. 31 points, that's pretty good. More than peak. Well, only 2.5 minutes of this stalemate to go. It's probably the wrong word. Inactivity, maybe. Okay, let's get teal down. Just check my opponent hasn't played any phonies, and he hasn't. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Teal had better be good. And it is. Okay. And the final score is 413 to my opponent, 460 to me, a winning margin of 47 points. Let's see what I missed. Right, it was my opponent to go first. I did not have a bingo here, but halt and halt looked like they were the best plays, and I think halt was better. Jet lag at N6, well, scores 32 points, but it keeps SV. And Javel for 23. Well, difficult to judge. Now this is where I played Agistors, and there was Rugosity. There was a play ending in the Y. Okay, well, that only cost me 4 points. And there were a number of other bingos. Wow, this was the one I was so sure there was a bingo, and there wasn't, which is a relief. And this is where I played Royal for only 18 points, but there weren't any massive scores available, and the Rackley was pretty good after Royal. Ooh, camisole, a miss. Okay, that was the only bingo, fairly common word, that was a miss. And Acme looks like it was second best. No misses here, but geoid playable at L9, which I didn't consider. I played ogive for 9. Yeah, a number of those options available there are certainly better. Redox, yeah, that was 42 points, certainly better than fix. But the Rackley after fix is superior. Resifted was the only bingo. I'm surprised, but grateful to have it. Unpoised is good. Don't know why I doubted that. And Defo for 51 looks like it was best. Now this is where I played Ruck, and Lecu at 13L is being suggested, but that doesn't block a bingo, so I think Ruck or Ruckle are definitely superior. Now let's see if my opponent had a bingo. Okay, he didn't. If he'd played Cheapen, that still wouldn't have been enough. And finally, Teal was the highest scoring outplay. Although I could have scored the same at E9. Where's that? Oh, Teal and panel. Okay, I didn't consider that. And a D10 tile similarly. Okay, so that was That was a good game to win. I was playing catch-up for the first half of the game, slightly fortunate with Resifted, and very pleased to get Unpoised down. I did miss Camisole. Missing bingos is a bad thing because it's an expensive error and it could have cost me the game. It's such an expensive error. Missing bingos and phonies are the two most expensive errors you can make, which is why players spend so much of their time learning bingos, but it's very difficult to eradicate, and although camisole is a common word, it doesn't have a common prefix or suffix, but I'm still slightly disappointed that I missed it. Anyway, I think there were a number of interesting positions in that game, a good variety of racks to consider. I think the Javel one was particularly interesting. Didn't spend very long on considering the alternatives, but I think there was a big variety of scores and rack leaves to juggle. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that video. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.